We are live. Okay, I got some got some crazy hair going on right now. It's morning time, Thailand. It's Sunday morning. I was gonna put a hat on my head, but I was thinking, you know what? As authentic this is what I look like right at this second. And it's right now, it's about 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning in Thailand. Been up since 6 a.m. taking care of the pups, Lucky and Money. So right now I feel kind of sleepy. So this is an excellent time to kind of do this exercise. And remember, we are on day 3 right now. Day 3, we are writing this affirmation over and over and over. So we're writing, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. This is day 1 here. So you write it on the front and the back of a tablet, just over and over and over. Okay, 1 per line. This is my day 2, front and back. Now we are on day 3, and a couple of things I've noticed. I did make a major change to this, is because I first started off doing a 3-day challenge, a 3-day manifesting challenge, like a journaling challenge. But then I actually changed. I talked about it yesterday a little bit, but I actually moved it to 5 days. The reason why I moved it to 5 days is because 3 days isn't enough, okay? Because I really want a subconscious footprint. I really want you to, even for myself, is be able to write this subconsciously. And what I mean by that, you're not thinking. Like, your mind will drift and you're thinking totally something else, but at the same time, you're writing this affirmation, okay? Or while I'm talking to you, I could be writing it, okay? I don't need to think about it no more. And for 3 days for me, I'm not there yet. So the first day I did this, the affirmation was halfway memorized. The second day, yesterday, I did this. One of the things I noticed is the affirmation was more memorized, because that was the day 2 we did it. But also, what I noticed was when I went on with the day yesterday, because I did this yesterday morning, and what I noticed is, like, as I went on throughout my day, I started just replaying the affirmation in my head, just because it started to become more memorized. And since we're writing it, this exercise takes about 20 minutes to do. Once we start it, I was kind of just naturally saying it to myself throughout the day yesterday. But it still isn't wired in me like I really want it to. And like I said before we get started here, just in case you're jumping into this, is that every time I've done a challenge like this, a writing challenge, just like this, whatever I write has come true, 100%. Okay. So just be careful, what you're writing, what you write down, especially if you love to journal. If you love to journal and you're just writing how bad your day went, how sucky it went. Lots of times that's going to put a footprint in your subconscious mind. And that's why it keeps on recurring, because you're writing it. Now, if you do love to journal like that, one thing I can give you really quick, it's okay to write stuff down. It's okay to kind of journal, get it out of you, but do a second step to that. Once I write my day, how sucky it was, then rip it out, tear it up, throw it away. Because it's kind of like a next step of you moving on. Okay. You let the dead bury the dead, baby. So, sometimes we got to take that next step, what most people don't do. And the biggest thing is not getting in a habit of constantly writing in the negative tense. You understand that? But anyway, let's get rocking and rolling. I'm going to move things around, get my water out of the way. I really want to drink this, but I don't know if I'll be able to survive this live without getting up and going to the bathroom. So I'll move everything around, kind of move over the mic a little bit so I have a little bit of room. And let's get started with day 3. I'll write this out for the first time. For day 3, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Now, you can even tell with day 3, it's way more memorized than yesterday. Especially because when I went on throughout the day, hate to repeat myself, but went on throughout the day, I tend to start saying it. So really day 3 is really when it's going to kick off And like I said, like when I came live, I said I was kind of sleepy. I'm like sleepy to a point where I could like lay down and take a nap because I woke up early. But it's great to do these types of exercises when you're in a sleepy state, because when you're in a sleepy state, remember your subconscious mind is more in control at that point. Your conscious mind is what gets sleepy. Your conscious mind gets sleepy and it starts to kind of shut off and shut down a little bit. So you're influencing your subconscious mind way more at a sleepy state. That's why I always say, and I fall into this trap too, guys, is that especially at nighttime, we're watching TV, we're watching movies, we're watching Netflix when we're in a sleepy state. And when we're watching TV, it puts us in a trance. It puts us in a trance like state. And especially when we're sleepy, what we're watching tends to kind of happen in our life. Okay, now this for some of you, this might be far fetched, but or the next thing is we're playing on our phones, swiping TikTok when we're super tired, super sleepy, and it tends to kind of influence us way more than what you think it would. So that's why when I was sleepy, besides sitting down and think, oh, I'll take a nap, I'll do this later, go live later. I was like, no, I need to do it now because I'm in that prime state right now. Okay, almost done with the first page. Staying a little bit more quiet today. That way I can kind of get into writing this. Ooh. Oh, yeah. 3 more times on the front page. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Okay. Hand cramps up a little bit. So I got the front page done. So we flip it over. Do the back page. Even for myself, friends, like sometimes when I get the back page, I'm like, whew, like I feel like I'm done already, but no, keep on going. Okay. You're just doing the front and the back. That's it. And at that point, move on. Don't don't try to focus on the how throughout the day. Don't look for it. Just do this exercise and continue on with your day. So money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. And really fast, I just thought about this too. While I take a little handbrake, is when we're talking about living life on your terms, when we're talking about manifesting, it's really about self mastery. Okay, that's really what it's about. Even when I used to be mentored with Bob Proctor, and I used to go to all his seminars when he would travel down to Los Angeles, California. And he would always listen to this. He would always, somebody in his seminar would always go up to him and basically say, he would bring it up in every seminar too, like on stage. Like someone would come up to him and say, I know all this stuff. I've heard all this stuff before. You're not telling me anything new with manifesting. But Bob would say, but something's missing. There's something you don't know. There's something that you need to figure out because you're not getting with the results that you want. And if you're not getting the results that you want, then you don't understand this material as much as you think you do. Okay, because there's something missing, and your job is to figure out what that missing ingredient is. You understand? Okay, I mean, with all this manifesting knowledge, this has been around for thousands of years. Okay, nobody, even nobody on YouTube, nobody's going to come out with a new theory in manifesting. It's all regurgitated information. Okay, all people do, they come out, they make up a new term or a new terminology, what they like to call things, but it's not a new philosophy. It's not a new definition. It's not new. Okay, it goes way back to the biblical days. Okay, nobody's teaching this stuff new. It's all regurgitated information. Even all the stuff I teach, it's all regurgitated. I've learned it from somewhere. And I learned it from all the old school prosperity teachers. Okay. But it's really about self mastery. It's you figuring out how to get the results in your life. You're figuring out what the missing ingredient is. Okay. That's your job. Okay. That's what you have to understand. As I go back to the writing challenge, money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Oh, yeah. Almost. Almost done. 5 more times. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. One last time. One last time. I got one more line. You can see I'm going all the way down to the last line there. Money comes to me abundantly and freely. I see it everywhere. Okay. That's it. Okay, so this is the back page, the front and the back. This was day 2. You see it here. This was day 1. You see it there. So day 3 is over. We got that and down the hatch. Okay, now one of the things I want you to do as we wrap this up here, I'm not going to keep too long because I got to go to the bathroom. Remember, I was like chugging some water here. Is after you do this, kind of let the dead bury the dead. You did it. You don't look for the how. You don't look around and say, when you repeat this affirmation, that money comes to me abundantly, freely, I see it everywhere. Then you start looking for it, like where is it coming from? You start looking for the how. No, okay. This is the point why I extended this for 5 days. I want you to get out of the habit of looking for the how. But what you'll find here, because it started with me yesterday, like I said in the beginning, is it's okay to go through your day and you're repeating the affirmation to yourself. Okay, you're fine that because you're doing this exercise that takes 20 minutes. But then hopefully within day 4, shifting into tomorrow and day 5, is it will start kind of being more subconscious, more of a subconscious habit. You're able to write it more easier because you'll find yourself as you're writing, you're repeating it the whole time in your head. You're just repeating it over and over and over and over and over as you write. But sooner or later, like day 4, day 5, you'll get to a point where your mind will drift, but you're still writing. Meaning you're thinking about totally something else, but you're still writing the affirmation. So that's really why I extended it to 5 days, not just keeping it for 3. But anyway, tribe, anyway, friends, that's it. Just want to jump out here and do this exercise with you guys. And again, like I said, I wasn't going to do this by myself. Then I thought I might as well just jump on live and do it with everybody. And that way you can kind of see the types of exercises I do. Now I don't do these over and over and over again, but I was kind of getting back into the kind of affirmation game a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I love affirmations, but it's about doing them the right way. And lots of times it's sticking to it. But anyway, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole with that because I do have to use the restroom. But anyway, tribe, thanks for tuning in and do this exercise. Even if you jump on, you kind of see my pinned comment, whatever, make sure you sit down and do this exercise because it has a lot of power to it. I mean, it takes 20 minutes of your time for 5 days in a row. So, I mean, that's all I got to say. If you whatever you want to come true, flip and write it. Because again, like I said, as we wrap this up, every time I've done this exercise, every time I've written, sometimes I've written stuff very, very specific that I want, and it has happened to come true. So anyway, my friends, tribe, remember, I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next live. Tomorrow will be day 4 of this writing challenge, and I'll see you tomorrow. And let me see how to end this live stream.